All right, Shalawam. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to YAHAWAH, bahasham, YAHAWASHI, bahasham, RAWCHAA QADASH. Double honor to the elders and apostles, the great millstone who taught me this truth. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the hopeful elect. Shalawam, and Lord will, this video is edifying. Okay? And basically, this lesson is going into how, once Esau is taken down this time, he's not coming back into power. Okay? Because you had the fall of Rome, basically where Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, was put down, for 1,000 years. Okay, and you had Jake ruling in Europe, all right, the Byzantine Empire, the Holy Roman Empire, But then during the Renaissance period, which Renaissance means rebirth, it goes into revival, resurgence. Basically, the so-called white man began to come back into power. He was coming back into power. You see, and it would lead up to what we're living in today, this revived Roman Empire, America, NATO, and the EU, or in better words, Babylon the Great, NATO, and the EU, because America is Babylon the Great, the daughter of Babylon, which will be destroyed in these last days. Okay, so I have precepts. I'm getting to it in the Lord will. This video is edifying. All right, I'm gonna start here in the book of Daniel, the second chapter, and I'm gonna drop down. All right, going into the statue. Okay. Verse 36, it says, "This is the dream, and we will tell the interpretation thereof before the king. Thou, O king, art a king of kings, for the Most High YAHAWAH, God of heaven, hath given thee a kingdom, power, and strength, and glory. And wheresoever the children of men dwell, the beasts of the field and the fowls of heaven hath he given into thine hand, and hath made thee ruler over them all. Thou art this head of gold." And the gold represent what? All right, the Babylonian Empire. Okay. Verse 39, "And after thee shall arise another kingdom inferior to thee, and another kingdom of brass, which shall bear rule over all the earth." Okay, after the Babylonians, you had the Medo-Persians, and after the Medo-Persians, you had the Greeks, the Greeks were Edomites, man. Esau was ruling during the time of the Greeks. All right, Alexander the Great, all right, the son of Philip II of Macedon, they were Edomites, man. The Greeks were Edomites, all right, and to prove that, okay, when you read the book of First Maccabees, it goes into how basically when Alexander died and his servants bear rule everyone in his place and their sons after him, that evils multiplied in the earth. Now, why did the scriptures, make that point that evils multiplied in the earth? Because they were the wicked. They were Esau, Edom. The Greeks were Edomites. Okay. And what also comes to pass, what comes to mind is the book of 1 Samuel, which let me go get that. I need 1 Samuel. I need Esther. Okay, just get this real quick, because the Greeks were Edomites, man. Okay. All right, right here. This is the book of addition to Esther, chapter 16, verse 10, and you will read this book in the Apocrypha, which the so-called white man took out of the Bible. Okay. This says, "For Ammon, a Macedonian, the son of Amadatha, being indeed a stranger from the Persian blood, and far distant from our goodness, and as a stranger received of us." All right. So Ammon, the son of Amadatha, was a Macedonian. All right. And when you read in the book of First Maccabees, the scripture going to how, let's go get it. First Maccabees 1 verse 1. First Maccabees chapter 1 verse 1, it says, "And it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chittim, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes." Now remember, after the Babylonians, you had the Medo-Persians, okay? Cyrus the Great, Cambyses II, Bardia, Darius, Xerxes, Artaxerxes. You had the Persians in power, man. All right, you had the Medo-Persian Empire, okay. And then who would take down the Medes and the Persians? Alexander the Great, okay. And when you read Alexander, the son of Philip the Macedonian, and we just read in the book of Addition to Esther that who else is a Macedonian? Amon the son of Amadatha the Agagite. Okay, and let's go get that. Let's go back to the book of Addition to Esther, chapter 12, verse 6. It says, howbeit Amon the son of Amadatha the Agagite, who was in great honor with the king, sought to molest Mordecai and his people because of the two eunuchs of the king. All right, so Amon the son of Amadatha, a Macedonian. And it also says what? That he was an Agagite, meaning what? A descendant of Agag. And this is why I have 1 Samuel. All right. This is why I have 1 Samuel, the 15th chapter, to get who Agag is. Okay. Get straight to the point. Verse 8. And he took Agag, king of the Amalekites. So Agag was an Amalekite. And the Amalekites, meaning what? The descendants of Amalek. When you read the book of Genesis, the 36th chapter, Amalek is the grandson of Esau, Edom. Okay, the Greeks, all right, the Macedonians, okay, those so-called white people that were in Europe were who? Edomites, man. Okay, all right. Now let's go back to the book of Daniel, the 2nd chapter. Just wanted to get into that, all right, real quick. Verse 40, and the fourth kingdom, which will, all right, be the Roman Empire, all right, and the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron, for as much as iron breaketh in pieces and subdueth all things, and as iron that breaketh all these. Slakia. I'm gonna read it again. And the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron, for as much as iron breaketh in pieces and subdueth all things, and as iron that breaketh all these shall it break in pieces and bruise. And this is the Roman Empire. All right. Now, there's not only the book of Daniel doesn't just speak about those four kingdoms, the Babylonians, the Medo-Persians, the Greeks, and the Romans. It goes into a everlasting kingdom, a kingdom that would stand for eternity. And what is that kingdom? That's the kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of Jacob, the kingdom of our Lord YAHAWASHI. And let's prove, when we drop down to verse 44, it says, and in the days of these kings shall the Most High YAHAWAH, bahasham YAHAWASHI, God of heaven, set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. All right, so those five kingdoms are the Babylonians, the Medo-Persians, the Greeks, the Romans, and then that fifth kingdom will be what? The kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of Jacob, the kingdom of our Lord YAHAWASHI. Now, if the fourth kingdom is the Roman Empire, all right, and we know that Rome basically fell, all right, why isn't this fifth kingdom, this everlasting kingdom, established in the earth? Why do we not see Jacob ruling? Why do we not see YAHAWASHI ruling in the earth? That's because when I went into the fall of Rome, all right, that wasn't the end all be all for the Roman Empire. Rome would come back in the form of America, NATO, and the EU. This is this revived Roman Empire. Okay, even when you look at things like the American Express card, what's on there? A centurion. You know, you look at the the names of the months. July goes back to Julius Caesar. August goes back to Augustus Caesar. You know, January goes back to the Roman god Janus. March goes back to the Roman god Mars. You know, even the names of the planets, Jupiter, you know, Venus, Mars, Mercury. He goes back to these Roman deities. This is Rome all over again, man. And I have a quick thing to speak on. When I was when I went to my mother's storage, okay, at the top of the storage door, you know how you Slakia. I think I walked into a spider web. But you know how the storage door, like you gotta pull them up, like you gotta pull it up, right? Basically when you look at the top, if I'm not mistaken, it was at the top of the door, you would see it was this company called Janus, like Janus.org, something to that effect. And actually, let me see, can I find it real quick? Janus, let's see, Janus.org. Let me just search Janus company doors. This probably what it was right here. Okay? Yes. Slacky for the music. Alright, so Khan. Okay, this is exactly what I saw at the top of the door. This two-faced, alright, whatever this is, and alright, Janus. Okay? And I guess this was the company that made like the garage doors, you know, everything from doors and hallways to installations, automations, and facility restoration. So Khan, and look at there. All right, so Khan, man. All right, and Janus, when you search up who Janus is, okay, you got this is Rome all over again, man. Janus, who is a Greek. All right, who is the Greek equivalent to Janus? It says in Roman mythology, Janus was a king of Latium, a region of central Italy, who had his palace in Janiculum Hill and western bank of the river Tiber. Okay, it says in Roman mythology, Janus was the god of doors, gates, and transitions. Man, you see, so hey, man, this is Rome all over again. All right, even when you look at the architecture, you look at the Supreme Court. Let's go search it up. Supreme Court. Images. All right, now just take a good look at this architecture, man. Now, what does this look like? Okay, what does this look like? Let's search up a Greek temple. Okay, Greek temple. All right, look at the architecture. It looks very similar, you see, to this Greek temple. All right, let's search up a Roman temple. See, these are the same people. The Greeks, the Romans, these so-called white people that rule today, they're the same people. They're Edomites, man. They're the wicked. Let's search up a Roman temple. All right, it looks very similar, you see, to all right, a Roman temple, because these are the same people. Now, when you want to go further, all right, Edom, Mount Seir, Petra. Okay, and now let's see what comes up. Images. You see this? Look at the architecture. All right, these are the same people. Okay, these are Edomites, man. Now look at this. Look at this right here. All right. All right, didn't pop up. All right, take a look at this right here. Okay, you see, look at the architecture, man. These are the same people. They're Edomites. You look at this. All right. Okay, these are the same. These are Edomites. This is Esau, Edom ruling in these last days, and they were prophesied to be ruling. Okay, so like I said, all right, the fifth kingdom is the kingdom of heaven. All right, and that fourth kingdom was what? The Roman Empire. But we know that the Roman Empire already fell. So why isn't this fifth kingdom in effect? That's because when Rome fell, that wasn't the end all be all for Rome. Rome would come back in what we're living in today. All right, this revived Roman Empire, America, NATO, and the EU. Okay, so, and I'm going to go into that. Okay, let's go to the book of Daniel chapter 7. All right, the book of Daniel chapter 7, which goes into, all right, it goes into the Babylonian Empire, the Medo-Persian Empire, the Greek Empire, and it goes into the Roman Empire. Okay, and basically it calls them beasts. All right, they were beasts. Okay, now I want to drop down to verse 7 to get into this fourth beast, which is what? That fourth kingdom, the Roman Empire. And it says, after this I saw in the night visions, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly. And it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it. And it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. This fourth beast with 10 horns represents the Roman Empire. I'm going to say it again. This fourth beast with 10 horns represents the Roman Empire. All right. Now, let's go to the book of Revelation, the 12th chapter. Because Revelation, the 12th chapter, is going to go into what? The Roman Empire. Okay. Revelation chapter 12, verse 1. And it says, and there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. Now, what is this woman? This woman is the nation of Israel. And let's get that in the book of Jeremiah chapter 6, verse 2. This is the book of Jeremiah chapter 6 verse 2, and it says, I have likened the daughter of Zion, all right, the nation of Israel, to a comely and delicate woman. You see, to a comely and delicate woman. And that's that woman that we're reading of in Revelation, the 12th chapter. All right, and watch this. It says, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. You see, the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. All right, it says, and she being with child cried, travailing in birth and pain to be delivered. And what's that child? That child is the Messiah, the Hamashiach, is Shiloh. Okay, the Son of Man, the Son of the Highest, which is YAHAWASHI, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Verse 3, and there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his head. Now, what does this great red dragon represent? This great red dragon with 7 heads and 10 horns, it represents the Roman Empire, man. This is what this great red dragon, all right, with 7 heads and 10 horns represent the Roman Empire. Okay, now let's keep reading. It says, and his tail drew the 3rd part of the stars of heaven, going into the time of 70 AD, when the Romans seized Jerusalem. And when it goes into the 3rd part of the stars of heaven, that's representing the 3 tribes, Benjamin, Judah, and Levi, of the southern kingdom of Israel. All right, the kingdom of Judah. All right, it says, and did cast him to the earth. His tail drew the 3rd part of the stars of heaven and did cast him to the earth. That's going into, all right, the time of 70 AD. Okay, where the Romans came and seized Jerusalem. All right, and did cast him to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman. All right, the dragon representing the Roman Empire. The woman, all right, the dragon representing Esau, Edom, the so-called white man / the Roman Empire. Okay, and the woman represents the nation of Israel. It says, which was ready to be delivered for to devour her child as soon as it was born. Okay, and what's that going into? Herod the Great trying to kill who? The Messiah, YAHAWASHI. All right. And when you go into Herod, Herod's father was Antipater the Idumean. And Idumea is the Greek way of saying Edom. Herod was an Edomite. His father was an Edomite. The Romans were Edomites, man. Okay? It says, and she brought forth a man-child who was to rule all nations with the rod of iron, and her child was caught up unto the Most High and to his throne. Like I said, this child represents, this child is YAHAWASHI, okay? This child is the Messiah, okay? And it says, and the woman, the nation of Israel, fled into the wilderness, right? Luke 21, Matthew 24, all right? When the Romans came and seized Jerusalem, and the scriptures speak about they that be in Judea flee into the mountains, all right? Which is the same as this wilderness, the land of Ham, Africa, man, all right? You had Israelites flee into the land of Ham. You had Israelites flee into Africa. And it says, where she hath a place prepared of the Most High, that they should feed her there 1,260 days. And what's that place? America, man. That place is America. And America is Babylon the Great, the daughter of Babylon, which will be destroyed in these last days. Okay? And I'm going to prove that it's America. Okay, now let's drop down to verse 14, because what I just read is basically going to go into it again. Starting at verse 14, and it says, and to the woman, which is the nation of Israel, were given 2 wings of a great eagle, all right, that she might fly into the wilderness. There go again. All right, Israelites fleeing into the land of Ham, Israelites fleeing into Africa. It says, into her place where she is nourished for a time and times and half a time, which is the same thing as what? That 1,260 days is the same thing. Time and times and what did it say? And half a time from the face of the serpent. And this place where she is nourished for a time and times and half a time is talking about what? America, the daughter of Babylon, mystery Babylon the Great, which is being ruled by Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. Okay? Now, let's head back to the book of Daniel, the 7th chapter. All right? Let's head back to the book of Daniel, the 7th chapter. Okay? The book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 7. It says, actually, I'm going to drop down to verse 24. And I'm going to go into, Rome, all right, because before you had America, all right, like you had the Roman Empire, but you had the fall of Rome, okay, and I'm gonna get into that too, okay. This is the book of Revelation chapter, the book of Daniel, the 7th chapter, verse 23. It says, thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon the earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and tread it down, and break it in pieces. And the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall rise after them. That's that little horn. Okay, this is another that shall rise after. All right, Salakia. Okay, but like I was saying, this another that shall arise is speaking of America, Babylon the Great, the daughter of Babylon. Okay, now let's keep reading. It says, and he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings. The 3 kings represent the Spanish, the British, and the French. All right. Verse 25, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High. Now, who are the saints? The saints, all right, are the people of the Lord, the Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Okay. And let's get proof of that when we go to the book of Psalms, chapter 149, which I have. 148, verse 14. And it says, he also exalted the horn of his people, the praise of all his saints. All right, and who's the Lord's people? The Israelites. Even of the children of Israel, a people near unto him, praise ye YAHAWAH YAHAWASHI. Okay? And that's the point. The saints are the Israelites, man. Okay? Now going back to the book of Daniel, the 7th chapter, let's keep reading. It says, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws. But watch this. Here's the point that I want to put emphasis on. It says, and they, which are the saints, the people of the Lord, the Israelites, shall be given into his hand until a time and times and the dividing of times. Basically, it's the same thing we just read in the book of Revelation, the 12th chapter. The place where she is nourished for a time and times and half a time. You see? All right, which represents 350 years. Okay? Real niggas stand up. OG stand up. Slakia, once again about the music. But Khan, okay? But just showing you that, hey, this little horn, all right, this another horn, all right? The place prepared of the Most High, the place where she is nourished, is talking about the same place. It's talking about Babylon the Great, the daughter of Babylon, mystery Babylon, which is America. Okay? So the Israelites would be given into, oh, that's another thing. All right, let's go to the book of Isaiah chapter 47. Okay? Because we just read in Daniel 7 that what? And they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and the dividing of times. Who's the day? The day are the people of the Lord, the Israelites, the saints. Now this is the book of Isaiah chapter 47 verse 1, and it says, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Now, the daughter of Babylon is America. Mystery Babylon, Babylon the Great, it is America. And what nation of people, all right, is tied to the daughter of Babylon? It's tied to Mystery Babylon the Great. All right, it's the Edomites, okay? The sons of Esau, Edom. And let's prove it with the book of Psalms, chapter 137. And it says, remember, O Lord, YAHAWAH YAHAWASHI, the children of Edom, in the dead Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof, O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed. Happy shall he be that awarded thee as thou hast served us. Happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones. You see? So the children of Edom are the ones that's synonymous with the daughter of Babylon, are the ones that are connected to the daughter of Babylon. Okay? And these are the people that are ruling in these last days, the Edomites, man. Okay? The wicked. The scripture say in Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. Okay? So, and I'm gonna wait real quick. But I'm going to go back to Isaiah 47 to get the point.
So why don't you just wait for it to come and then go?
Okay, I shall continue. Dropping down to verse 6. It says, I was wroth with my people. Who's the Lord's people? You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. The Israelites, the saints, okay? The children of Israel. It says, I was wroth with my people. Wroth basically going to angry, you know? I was wroth with my people. I have polluted mine inheritance. So, hey, when we read in Daniel the 7th chapter, the Lord gave his people into the hands of Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. You know, the Lord had his own people come to America, Babylon the Great, to be oppressed. All right. Let's read. It says, I was wroth with my people. I have polluted mine inheritance and given them into thine hand. You see? All right. You see the Israelites in America in the hands of Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. All right. You see the Israelites in the place prepared of the Most High, in the place where she is nourished, which is Babylon the Great. Okay? It says, and given into thine hand, and thou didst shew them no mercy, upon the ancient hast thou very heavily laid thy yoke, man. So the Israelites are in, all right, mystery Babylon, the daughter of Babylon, all right, in these last days, okay, being oppressed by the so-called white man, Esau, Edom, all right? Now what I want to do, I want to go to the book of Revelation, the 20th chapter, because like I said, I was going to go into that history of you know, the fall of Rome, and then it would lead to what we're living in today, America, NATO, and the EU, this revived Roman Empire. Okay? So this is the book of Revelation, chapter 20, verse 1, and it says, and I saw an angel, that angel is YAHAWASHI, come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit, and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, that bound him 1,000 years. Now, what does this represent? This dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan. Now, when we go back to Revelation, the 12th chapter, what did it speak of? It spoke of what? That dragon. Okay? That dragon, right? Let's go back to the book of Revelation, the 12th chapter. And let's drop down to verse, let me see. Verse 9, and it says, and the great dragon, all right, was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. Once again, what does this represent? Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, / the Roman Empire, man. Okay, this dragon, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, represents Esau, Edom, the so-called white man / the Roman Empire. You see? And Esau, Edom, the Edomites, are the physical counterpart of Satan, man. Okay? And we're going to prove that when we go to the book of 1 Thessalonians. All right? Oh, no, 2 Thessalonians, Slakia. Okay? Because Esau, Edom, these people that rule the earth, they're the man of sin. Esau, Edom, the wicked. All right? Okay? And let's just get straight to the point. Actually, I'm gonna start at verse 8. It says, and then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. The wicked is Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. And he's been revealed. Well, he's already been revealed, but he's still being revealed as we speak. It says, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. And that proves to you that the people that are ruling the earth in these end times are the wicked, the Edomites, man. And when the Lord, which is YAHAWASHI, when he returns to the earth, he's going to return to a world that's been ruled by the wicked, by Esau, Edom, by the man of sin. Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. Okay? Verse 9, it says, even him, all right? It says him, meaning a man, okay? Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders. And who is this him? Esau, Edom. You see? Who's coming is after the working of Satan. Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. All right? And even when you go to the blue letter, let's get blue letter. Let's go back to Revelation, the 12th chapter, verse 9. Okay? Because, all right, when people think of Satan, they think of a red man with two horns and a pitchfork. Okay? All right? But Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, you know, is Satan, man. Okay? And let's get this. Let's go into this word Satan. Let's just get straight to the point. The word Satan, and get straight to the point. B, a Satan-like man. And who is this Satan-like man? The man of sin, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. Okay? That's this Satan-like man. Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. And that's what this dragon, the old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, represents. All right? Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, / the Roman Empire. Now, going back to Revelation 20. Revelation 20, and what did it say? It said, and laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. He, all right, laid hold on Esau, man, doing his rulership as what? The Romans, okay? And cast him into the bottomless pit and shut him up and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that, he must be loosed to the little sea. So Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, was brought low, you see, for 1,000 years. You see, they were taken out of power. They was brought low for 1,000 years, man. Okay? And then those 1,000 years where Esau was brought low, you had Israelites ruling in Europe. All right? The Byzantine Empire. Okay? Where Jake was ruling. Okay? All right? The Middle Ages. Okay? Bakc. Now, let's drop down to verse 7, because verse 4, all right, is speaking of a completely different 1,000 year period than 1,000 years that the dragon was bound, or Esau was bound. Okay, it's a completely different 1,000 years. Okay, so dropping down to verse 7, and it says, and when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan, which is Esau, the so-called white man, shall be loosed out of his prison. And this is what the Renaissance period, man. Esau, all right, begin to come into power. He's beginning to come back into power, man. The Renaissance period, which took place directly after the Middle Ages, man. All right, and let's prove that. Let's go into Renaissance. We can get this right here. Renaissance is a period in European history making the transition from the Middle Ages, when Jake was ruling and Esau was brought low, all right, to modernity and covering the 15th and 16th centuries. So, okay, I'm reading. The Renaissance is a period in European history marking the transition from the Middle Ages, man, to modernity. Okay, the Renaissance took place directly after the Middle Ages, and the Middle Ages is when Jake was ruling. All right, that 1,000 years. Okay, even when you go into the Byzantine Empire, when the western half of the Roman Empire fell. All right, let's go get that. Byzantine Empire. See some street.com. See, does it bring it up? Okay, the Byzantine Empire was a vast and powerful civilization with origins that can be traced to 330 AD, when the Roman Emperor Constantine first dedicated a new Rome on the site of the ancient Greek colony of Byzantium. Though the western half of the Roman Empire crumbled and fell, you had the fall of Rome. okay? In 476 AD, the eastern half survived for 1,000 more years, man. You see that? Okay? Esau was brought low, and you had Jake ruling for basically 1,000 years. Esau was brought low for 1,000 years. You had Jake ruling during that period of 1,000 years, man. But see, at the end, okay, of those 1,000 years, Esau will begin to come back into power, which is what? The Renaissance period, man. And it will lead to what we're living in today, this revived Roman Empire, okay? America, NATO, and the EU, all right? Or shall I say Babylon the Great, NATO, and the EU. All right, let's go to the book of Revelation, the 17th chapter. Revelation chapter 17, verse 3. It says, so he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. Now remember, when you read in Revelation the 12th, it spoke about what? The great red dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns. And notice all right, a great red dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns. Now we're reading in Revelation the 17th chapter, verse 3. It speaks about what? A scarlet-colored beast. Let's get a definition of scarlet. It says of a brilliant red color. You see, a brilliant red color. So a scarlet-colored beast full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. The beast that is speaking of is NATO, all right? The 7 heads, to get straight to the point, represents the Romans, the Greeks. So I'm going to start the Greeks, the Romans, the Spanish, the French, Germanic Major, Germanic Minor, and Great Britain. Okay? The Greeks, the Romans, the Spanish, the French, Germanic Major, Germanic Minor, and Great Britain. That's the 7 heads. And it says in 10 horns. The 10 horns is the European Union, the EU. All right? And guess what? The woman that sitteth upon the beast is what? America, man. The daughter of Babylon, mystery Babylon. Okay? All right? America, man. Okay? America is that woman. Now, what comes to mind is the book of Micah, the 4th chapter. Because what I just went into, well, what I did go into in the book of Revelation, the 12th chapter, you know, and the book of Daniel, the 7th chapter, is that what? The Israelites came to America. The Israelites came to mystery Babylon. They came to the place prepared of the Most High, the place where she is nourished. All right, this little horn. All right, okay, and the precept that I use to prove that the woman represents the nation of Israel is this Jeremiah 6:2, where the scriptures say, I have likened the daughter of Zion to a comely and delicate woman. Roughly paraphrasing. Okay? Now let's read. Micah chapter 4, verse 10. Be in pain and labor to bring forth, O daughter of Zion. Which is, according to Jeremiah 6:2, is likened unto a woman. All right? And that woman that we read in Revelation, the 12th chapter, represents the nation of Israel. Okay? And that woman will go to the place prepared of the Most High, the place where she is nourished, which is Babylon the Great, the daughter of Babylon. But let's keep reading. Be in pain and labor to bring forth, O daughter of Zion, like a woman in travail. For now thou shalt go forth out of the city, and thou shalt dwell in the field, and thou shalt go even to Babylon, man. You see? Thou shalt go even to Babylon. And there thou shalt be delivered. There the Lord YAHAWASHI shall redeem thee from the hand of thine enemies, man. You see? So the nation of Israel, all right, they're in Babylon the Great. They're in the daughter of Babylon, okay? Which is being ruled by Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. And I have another verse. Zechariah, the 2nd chapter, chapter 2, verse 6. It says, deliver thyself, O Zion, right, the nation of Israel, that dwellest with the daughter of Babylon, which is America. And what nation of people is tied to the daughter of Babylon? The Edomites. Psalms 137, verse 7 through 8. Esau, Edom. You see? And these are the people that are ruling in these last days. And this is why when you go to the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 6, verse 9, here's what it says. It says, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob it's the beginning of it that followeth. Now notice that when we read in the book of Daniel, the 2nd chapter, that it spoke about those 5 kingdoms, the Babylonians, the Medo-Persians, the Greeks, the Romans, and then you have an everlasting kingdom. And what is that kingdom? The kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of Jacob. But see, the 4th kingdom, which is the Roman Empire, is ruled by who? Esau, Edom. You see? And we're living in this revived Roman Empire, which is being ruled by who? Esau, Edom. Okay? Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth, man. Okay? Esau is ruling in these last days. And that's why when you read about YAHAWASHI treading the winepress, all right, in Revelation, the 19th chapter, Genesis, the 49th chapter, the 11th verse, and then Isaiah 63, the scriptures say, who is this that coming from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. I that speaking righteous, mighty to save. Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel, and thy garments like him that treadeth in the wine fat? Who is that speaking of? That's speaking of the Messiah, man. When YAHAWASHI returns to the earth, he's going to return to earth that's been ruled by the wicked, by Esau, Edom, by the man of sin. Him who's coming is after the working of Satan, Esau, Edom. Okay? And he's going to take Esau out of power, and then that everlasting kingdom, the kingdom of Jacob, the kingdom of heaven, is going to be established in the earth, that 5th kingdom. And Jacob is going to rule forever, man. Okay? So, really, that's the point. So, you know, Esau came back in power, you know, after the fall of Rome. He came back in power, all right, starting at the Renaissance. But see, once this devil gets taken out of power this time, he's not coming back. Okay? He's not coming back into power. That's going to be the end. Hey, Esau going to be in slavery, you know, for 1,000 years. Then these devils going to be completely annihilated off the earth, pursuant to the book of Obadiah. Let's go get it. Okay? Obadiah, the 18th verse. Obadiah chapter 1, verse 18. And it says, and the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble. And they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord YAHAWAH has spoken it, man. You see? So this is what's going to take place. Lord, will this video is edifying. I'm going to close it out, getting infinite praises, honor, and glory to YAHAWAH, bahasham, YAHAWASHI, bahasham, RAWCHAA QADASH. Double honor to the elders and apostles, a great millstone, time of this truth. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the hopeful elect. Shalawam.